Hello, it is me. I wanted to try something else for a long time, and as you might know, I am quite lazy and I tend to start many things at once only to leave most of them unfinished. So, a bit of a context first. I myself watch a lot of channels that do reviews on new and newish games, sort of a first impression videos, and I really like this format. So, I decided a long time ago that I want to try my approach on this subject as well. I want to start a series, possibly, where I pick a game. It can be a new game or it can be a game that is finally out of early access. It can also be a game that I always wanted to play, but until now I just didn't get to it. The reason being, once again, my laziness and also playing way too much Overwatch. So let's paint a picture. You want to play something new. You open Steam and you browse through the recent sales. You come across an interesting looking title, check that most users recommend it, but still want to see how the game plays from someone you know. Well, this is where I come in. I want to make a little overview, tell and show you what kind of a game it is, and maybe give you some useful information that can help you decide. I want to do so without giving away too much from the game to the point where you might as well just watch me play it instead of doing it yourself. This is not an attempt for Let's Play series. Every video is supposed to be a different game. Now, I am not saying that if I come across something interesting that I really want to play, I am never making a video, but that's for another series. Finally, before we dive in, I wanted to say thank you so much everybody for the support, and whether you join the streams or watch YouTube stuff, I am glad that you enjoy it and that you're letting me know. I'm always open to some interesting ideas, so if you have it, I'm listening. Also, if you know people who you think might enjoy this, please don't hesitate sharing it, because I am really bad at social networking. I intend to make these better along the way. I feel like each video is going to be a learning experience for me as well. Now, without further ado, let's look at Grounded. Today we have a very special thing to explore together. Grounded was released in July 2020 and it is a first-person survival and exploration game. For those who already are clicking away, please stop, it is not as simple, alright? More on this in a minute. Anyway, in this game you can play a single player or multiplayer mode where you can either join someone's lobby or create your own and invite friends. I wanted to mention two more things. First is that in order to play this game you will need a Microsoft Xbox Live account connected to your Steam, and the second, when you launch the game, it will tell you that if you have severe arachnophobia issues, there is a setting to turn the spiders smaller. Now that's interesting, and you will see why in a second. The huge deal, pun intended, in this game is that you actually play as a normal human. Sort of. You wake up in this weird looking forest and realize that you have been somehow shrunk down, so you are no bigger than a bug. No, really. I actually mean it. And this is a friendly creature, by the way. Until someone accidentally attacks it. Pinky. You move as you would probably expect by WASD keys, with left mouse button being hitting stuff with your hands or tools if you have some equipped. Right mouse button is used for blocking enemy attacks. You can also hold R to aim and then throw whatever it is you have in your hand at a target. Good luck, I lost like 15 spears. As far as the user interface goes, I like the minimalist design. Don't get me wrong though, there is plenty of details if you access one of the menus, but the main stuff you see on your screen is resources bar on the bottom left containing stamina, thirst, hunger and health, action bar in the middle where you can equip tools or other items for fast access, little tooltip on the right about the item you have equipped with some actions that can be performed with it, and finally on the top left we have a little tutorial tips along with other stuff that the game wants us to do. By pressing tab, we can access pretty much anything we need like inventory, crafting menu, map, quest log and data log. The crafting menu is really detailed as well, and you will be able to craft, for example, tools like axes, spears and hammers, some items that replenish health and thirst, more complicated tools that do require a workbench where you can also make or upgrade gear from different types of resources, for example, ant helmet that gives you more HP, or slime shoes that make you run faster. I mean, look at it. Besides gear and tools, it is possible to build your own tent to set a new spawn point and sleep at night where you can see absolute shit. Next level is building your own base that you can after fill with storage chests and stuffed decoration. We start the game next to a box that contains a syringe with what we can only guess is some very disturbing stuff. And because we are good people, we won't touch it at all. Not even a little bit. Along the way, we pick up various materials, such as grass pieces and little tiny stones to craft some tools and weapons that we can use to defend ourselves or to tend to other basic human needs. We quickly discover that not all water is good, as this tasty puddle one makes me feel a bit sick and my hunger bar goes down to 0, which is very suboptimal. I find some little slimes, aphids, which prove to be a good source of food as they welcome death with no struggle. Good thing we are at least bigger than these. After discovering the source of this weird signal, we see it is a tiny tent that looks like a laboratory. These nasty ants that are snooping around get absolutely destroyed with our 2 stone spears, and we find out that the tent contains a tiny computer, which seems to be some sort of resource analyzer. It has 3 charges that replenish over time, and using some of the stuff we picked up, we can discover new blueprints. Through the game, you also collect this purple currency that is called raw science by doing various activities, analyzing resources being one of them. Later, we explore this weird-looking machine that seems to be some sort of a chip or Raspberry Pi sort of thing with lasers on top of it. By pushing this button, the lasers activate and we see that one of them is being blocked by a grass and the other has a low signal for some reason, so the game prompts us to investigate. We spend some time jumping around the device and gather some stuff that let me craft a stone axe, so I can unblock one of the lasers. And because it is getting dark, we build some tents and sleep it off. The next day we boost our egos by salvaging some aphid parts, and because I realized that I have been calling almost everything in this game weird, we head over to the absolutely mundane laser-powered thingy. It seems that the cables are being chewed by lawn mites, which are not friendly. As this is pretty much a dungeon, a chance for me to prove my alpha male capabilities, I naturally go in first without any light and throw away my only weapon. Second time, we came back better prepared. Me and Pinky, now bearing the torch after some safety precautions, rushed the mites in their own home so hard they did not know what hit them, and successfully saved the cables from being chewed. GG, get f***ed noobs. We salvage what we can and return to the laser machine. My instinct tells me that nothing can really go wrong, so I let Pinky push the button this time. Well... The lasers that are now at full power start doing some flashy things, but it seems that some circuits gets fried, and as a side effect they cause this little explosion a couple of real size meters away. The morale of the story is, I guess, kids, don't let women push buttons, something might explode. We follow the direction to the tree, and along the way I hammer some fallen acorns with my stone hammer, which proved to be a nice source of food and also some materials for base building. It is slowly getting dark, and because I am shining with bright ideas today, I suggest lighting a torch so we can be seen more easily, and I regret my decision upon noticing the big spider legs from around the root of the tree. I tell Pinky to run, but I fail to mention which direction, so the spider knocks her out. I would love to help, but there is absolutely no way I can do that, so I decide to make a tent here and wait before she runs back from previous spawn point in the morning. By following the trails of the explosion, we come across some sort of laboratory in the roots of the tree. They can't be real. We explore a bit and find this poor knocked out robot. Turn him back on and find out that his name is Burgle, that is specialized in cooking and grilling among other things. He also tells us that we have been miniaturized by these so-called eminent researchers, but unfortunately doesn't know anything else because some explosion knocked out all the power in this facility, including him. Weird, huh? Burgle acts as a quest giver. He has 3 quests per day, and upon completion he gives raw science as a reward, which can also be traded with him for new research blueprints. We can also find and return to him any stolen chips with data so we can access more from his database. For some reason though, we didn't take any quests and decided to just explore around the tree a bit more. We proceed to find a little pond and decide to make a new camp around here next to the armed raspberry poncho juice box that actually drips some drops of water over time. Yum! We also make a chest so we can start the classic Minecraft resource hoarding and organization nightmare. Then we finally try the roasted aphid instead of the raw one and are pleasantly surprised by how much better it actually is. Fun fact, you can roast up to 3 aphids at once and don't have to be a dummy like us and wait for each one to complete before adding a new one. The next day I overcome my PTSD from Subnautica and finally acknowledge the tip in the top left corner saying I should explore the pond depths. Okay then, I'm fine. You can't hold your breath for too long, but in the water there are these bubble thingies that replenish your oxygen, which is very appreciated. Otherwise you wouldn't get too far. It is also important to say that when you die, a bag with your stuff spawns in the place of your death, so you can go back from your spawn point and retrieve your inventory. This feature was bugging out for some reason, but only for Pinky, as she had to go back to the very first spawn point near the syringe. For me it worked okay, so I can't complain. Once again, it is still early access, I guess. To sum things up, I would say Grounded is a really nice looking game with still some features incomplete, but overall it works nicely and is definitely playable, so don't let yourself be scared away by this early access logo on Steam. The sound effects and music also add up to the really beautiful atmosphere this game has, and there is a lot of fun stuff you can do in a group. So, if exploration and base building in an unconventional environment where you run away from bugs that are as big or bigger than you is something that sounds interesting, I would definitely give it a go. Well, see you in the next one.